You bring violence and war to thwart the Dark Realm. But conflict was born in Hell. It is inevitable. A fire that fuels creation and gives purpose where there is none.
Davoth is a tragic character. He's one of the most tragic characters in Doom, even more than the Slayer himself, and might be one of the most tragic characters in all of gaming. If you like Doom, subscribe and leave a huge like. If you do, you'll get this as a gift. Thank you. As a small green man once said, love leads to anger, anger leads to hate. Hate leads to suffering. Davoth is short for Darth Vader. Changed my mind. That small quote from Yoda describes with pinpoint accuracy the whole history behind the character of Davoth, a once caring god that fell to the dark side, becoming the Dark Lord. I've already made a lore video talking about his past, but with new information surfacing around Davoth thanks to Hugo Martin, we can now piece together the blanks left in the story of Davoth and see just how tragic his life really was. Davoth is the creator of the universe. He was the first being to pass through the void, and everything that was created after the fact was created by him. Jakkath was the first world he created, and Davoth wanted nothing but the best for his citizens. Over time, the citizens of Jakkath began questioning immortality, something that only he, Davoth, had. For the sake of his people, Davoth crafted the Makers, a race of super hyper intelligent beings to uncover the secrets of eternal life. Over time, the Makers were able to achieve immortality, but deemed that knowledge too dangerous for Davoth to have. In an act of defiance against his creator, the Maker deity known as the Father and his servants sealed Davoth and his whole world in darkness, an act that will eventually create the dimension of Hell itself and the Dark Lord. The next thing we knew about Davoth was that the Father went down to Hell, fought against him on the Ingmar Sanctum, and managed to seal his life force on a sphere, stealing Davoth's physical body and reducing him to mere whispers. Yet, we all know how that turned out. With his whispers of corruption, Davoth was able to create a champion that will deliver his will, his vengeance. Through the Khan Maker and the Seraphim, the Dark Lord manipulated the Makers to indirectly create the Doomslayer, knowing fully well that the Slayer will eventually destroy the Makers and that he will come for him. His ultimate plan was his demise, but it was all for the sake of his vengeance. This is all information that we can find in the Codex of Doom Eternal and the Ancient Gods. What the game doesn't tell us about is the story of the fall of Jakkath, how Imora became this stronghold to safeguard its citizens from the very demons Davoth commands, and the numerous battles that Davoth and his army had in Imora. One of the main criticisms that I saw about the Ancient Gods, mainly part 2, was that Imora, the capital city of Hell itself, didn't look like Hell at all, and that's wrong. Imora isn't supposed to be Hell. It is the last city of Jakkath, a world that was beautiful and gracious. Everything that is outside of Imora is indeed Hell. Necrovol, the blood swamps, etc. And by the words of Hugo Martin, he believes that before Davoth was sealed on the life sphere, he had battles defending his city and his citizens from the threats that he himself created. Hell was created thanks to his rage. After the fact that he got betrayed by his creations, that being the Makers and the Father, Jakkath got corrupted over time. Thousands, even millions of years have passed since the betrayal of the Makers. Jakkath was a hellish wasteland full of monsters, demons, and godlike creatures, and the walls of Imora served as protection from those very threats. Even though the Dark Lord is the leader of Hell's armies, there are demon lords within Hell that are not loyal to Davoth, and that the army of Imora, full of men, has had to defend itself from numerous attacks from other demon lords and armies. There is a whole era in the Doom universe that we know nothing about. If the time the Doomslayer spent with the Night Sentinels can be described as the Clone Wars era from Star Wars, then this era is the Old Republic. basically. Hugo describes this era as the time where Davoth was the hero of his world, with numerous battles taking place outside the city walls of Imora. Several demon lords and archdemon gods wanted the power of Davoth. They wanted to be the leader of the armies of hell. And Davoth, with his great power and knowledge, challenged all of those demon lords and demon gods to ritual combat and killed all of them. This is not the first time Imora was invaded. This is not the first time Davoth fought someone in ritual combat. This same exact sequence happened hundreds, even thousands of times in the very distant past. Davoth and his army of soldiers didn't only fight and fend off demons from Imora. The Makers also invaded the city in hopes of defeating Davoth once and for all. But every single time the Makers invaded Imora, Davoth successfully defended his city every single time. That was until the arrival of the Father. It makes you wonder really how the Father, despite being created by Davoth, was able to defeat Davoth in combat. Davoth's story is just a big tragedy. Little by little he saw the world he had so much hope for get destroyed. There were no times of peace. Everything he knew was chaos and war. Even though he was the hero of Imora, he was still the creator of hell. He was destined to die. With his death, he will not be able to defend his city any longer, dooming Imora to be breached and destroyed eventually by the demons of hell, by his own creations. He could not save what was most important to him. It didn't matter how hard he tried. Eventually, it was all in vain. Davoth is just a big tragedy. He's basically Darth Vader. He loved his people, he got betrayed by his creations, he got angry, he created the demons of hell, he began hating the Makers sealed him on a life sphere, and that hate turned into suffering. Davoth is Darth Vader confirmed. Yeah. Special thanks to all of my Patreon supporters, and a huge thank you to all of my chat slayers. InfinityX117, Cole Thompson, Jack Attack Hero, The Boss Bass, Icon of Sin, Kudu Kenshi, Doomslayer471, The Regular Dude, Andrew Drew, Ali Chancho, Saint Hathor, General Clipto, Unknown User Zero, Awesombro, Flair Hablo, and Grayson West. Thank you so much for your incredible support on the Patreon page. If you want to support the channel, link to the Patreon page is going to be down below. Again, thank you so much. And so, okay, Spartans, have an awesome Monday. Stay safe, stay home, play video games, and follow me in all of my social media. Adios. Bye.